Hey there, everyone. Ervin here, bringing you a guide on how to get a little bit more out of your automatic weapons in Helldivers 2. Many of us, myself included, prefer automatic weapons in video games, but it's not difficult to feel like the category is coming up short in our favorite co op shooter. There are, however, some interesting mechanics behind why that is that I'll be talking about today, as well as some tricks you can use to circumvent some of the issues to some degree. Before we get started in earnest, a huge thank you to my coffee supporters who support my full time content creation. Couldn't do this without you guys. While automatic weapons all do fine enough in Terminids, as long as you're not being swarmed by more than two stalkers stat checking you, for automatons, one of the two things are likely happening when you bring out, say, the adjudicator. You are tap firing at the head, trying to land the 2 to 3 headshots you need depending on distance from the target for devastators, which if you're doing that, you are right to question why you brought an automatic weapon in the first place if we can get no value out of our automatic high RPM fire rate. Then why are we not just using, say, the Diligence Counter Sniper for one-shot headshot kills? Functionally, it feels like we're choosing the more difficult to use option, and that just isn't right. Assault rifles, dating all the way back to the Halo days, have always been the ease of use option. Marksman and precision weapons should come out on top when being used to their highest potential, but the assault rifle should always be providing an average experience filled with ease of use. When we go for those headshots, we're turning our assault rifle into a weaker marksman rifle, which will never feel worthwhile and never give us that ease of use feel that it should. So, what's our other common use case? I imagine a lot of us have tried the obvious approach of mag dumping around the thorax and head region of a Devastator with the Adjudicator or, say, the Liberator Penetrator, only to find them still standing as our mag runs empty. The only weapons really able to make this strategy feel comfortable at the moment are the Sickle, with its deep magazine and virtually non existent recoil, able to laser beam the head hitbox, as well as the Defender and Pummeler, able to relatively easily control themselves on that head hitbox from the safety of a shield. This doesn't feel right, does it? So let's take a look at why that is. Enemies in Helldivers 2 have separate health pools in each limb that do not interact with each other in any way typically. So, what is happening here is the head of the Devastator has its own health pool of 130 with an armor class of 0, and the torso its own health pool of 360 with an armor class of 3. As a result, any shots landing in the torso deal half damage as a result of meeting the armor level with medium penetration. By splitting our shots between them, it's possible we never actually land a kill shot that brings either of these health pools to 0. If we do eliminate the target in this example, though, we've technically wasted every shot that landed in the torso if the head was brought to 0, and wasted every shot to the head if the torso was brought to 0. Between these two common use cases, it's easy to feel like there just isn't a good reason to bring an assault rifle in automatons when you can instead just click on heads with weapons like the Jar 5 and Diligence Counter Sniper for an overall more effective experience against the automatons. While this will remain true no matter what, as anyone able to utilize marksman weapons to their full potential, such as these, and yes, I did just call the Jar 5 Bolter a marksman weapon, will have an overall cleaner experience than an automatic user can. Even still, we can still target specific parts of the body that are larger and more easily focused with automatic weapons to get some actual value out of that automatic feature. The legs are a prime example of this on the Devastators. It's not difficult to keep your automatic weapon on target through vertical recoil here, and all your bullets are targeting the same health pool, unlike when we aim around the head region. The legs have class 2 armor, meaning medium penetration rifles like the Liberator Penetrator and the Adjudicator do particularly well here, downing a Devastator in 12 and 7 shots respectfully. When you think about it, that TTK or time to kill is really not bad at all at 1.03 seconds and 0.65 seconds. Think about how many times you've whiffed enough headshots on a Devastator or had to readjust your aim on the head hitbox to take longer than that, and you'll start to see there's some value here in the leg meta. There are also several other spots that we can aim our automatic fire on for value as well. The lower torso of the Devastator, not often exposed by the heavy Devastators, but available when facing off with the rocket or normal Devastators, does not have the same medium armor that upper torso does. This creates a vulnerability just large enough for most assault rifles besides the Adjudicator to stay on target. And as well, we are not splitting our damage between two health pools, which is very important as we've discussed. The Liberator Concussive, Tenderizer, Defender, and Pummeler all defeat Devastators through this slightly larger target in 6 bullets and under 1 second. For Heavy Devastators specifically, their backpack, funny enough, is also a crucial component to their continued existence, sporting Class 2 armor with a health pool of 220. Targeting this very large pack with medium penetration firearms is also a quick alternative to headshots. Now, while you can still tap fire to clear Devastators when you're in a comfortable position, and doing so will save you some ammo, when you're in the thick of combat in high stress situations or at an odd angle to land headshots, aiming for these lesser explored options is going to give your automatic fire some sense of value it otherwise wouldn't. You'll be burning ammo far faster, this is true, but we have lots of ammo to spend, resupplies, and ammo sitting in every outpost in the game, with generally great ammo economies on all of these weapons. This should realistically never cause any real concern, and even if you do find yourself running low from taking a lot of back to back engagements, we can always revert to tap firing, or lean on our support weapon for heavier engagements. Berserkers are potentially an even greater example of an enemy Helldivers fall victim to thinking is obnoxiously tanky, when in reality they have 3 separate health pools that we're commonly splitting our damage between. This glowing spot on the torso is large enough that we can realistically dump automatic fire into it, giving us a bit of an advantage here over trying to go for that bobbing headshot. Every automatic weapon in the game can take these out through this spot in between 8 to 14 bullets, taking no more than 1.5 seconds, making it a fantastic spot to focus your aim on them. The legs have roughly the same health as this glowing middle connecting region, making it our second best option when dealing with Berserkers. Basically, dump your bullets into this glowing region in the middle, or the legs, to take down Berserkers far quicker than if you had dumped your ammo indiscriminately. We can also apply this method to the Terminids as well, with some good examples being the Stalker, the Brood Commander, and the Bile Spewers. All of these enemies have split health pools between their head and body, meaning we want to pick one body part and aim for it. So let's discuss how to break these down piece by piece. Commanders have large heads that are easy to mag dump, so that's our target, especially if we have medium penetration, as light pen weapons will deal half damage to the head's class 2 armor. The heads have about 415 HP, so the Adjudicator with 6 hits and the Liberator Penetrator with 8 hits will take this thing's head off in only slightly over half a second. Light penetrating automatic weapons get it a bit more rough here, taking between 14 and 16 shots, as well as roughly a second and a half. Once it does pop off, though, they'll charge at you and quickly bleed out. So no need to waste any more ammo after this happens. Give them a smack if they get too close. Stalkers have small heads, but their bodies have class 2 armor, meaning the Adjudicator in 17 hits and the Liberator Penetrator with 29 hits can take them down through the body if you want. But light penetrating automatics are going to struggle greatly here to overcome the body's 1300 HP with half the damage. Instead, you may wish to look for headshots, which any automatic weapon will defeat Stalkers through in 3 to 4 hits. Due to the high disparity between the health of the body and the health of the head on the Stalker, this is an example of when you actually do want to be mag dumping towards that head hitbox indiscriminately and just hope for the best. Nursing Spewers heads have 320 HP and an armor class of 2, meaning half damage for light penetrating weapons and full damage for medium. The Adjudicator will eliminate them in 4 hits with a TTK of under half a second, the Penetrator in 8 in over half a second, and all light penetrating automatics between 10 to 13 hits, taking between a second and a second and a half. Their bodies, however, take our structure damage and not our projectile damage. Structure damage on ballistic weapons is incredibly low, typically about 10%. The Penetrator, which deals about 33% at least, is still not going to fare much better here, taking 45 rounds to bring them down through the body, with the base Liberator taking as many as 70 hits. Basically, headshots are your only answer here when it comes to your primary weapon, if you choose to bring an automatic weapon. The only difference between the Nursing Spewer and the Bile Spewer is the trade up of its light armor at class 2 for class 3 medium armor. and an additional 80 head HP, bringing the total to 400. Meaning light penetrating automatics are virtually useless against them, while the Adjudicator in 8 hits and the Penetrator in 14 hits can still defeat them through the head hitbox. There are many other examples of damage splitting, leading you to feel the enemies are unusually tanky at times. Keeping in mind that they have multiple health pools, I'm sure will result in faster kill times for tons of enemy types across the board for you. And all the while, your assault rifle will feel just a bit better as a result. While I still feel this category could use some serious help, which the CEO seems to agree with based on making an internal push for better balance changes in the future, hopefully this video has given us die-hard assault rifle enjoyers a bit of a boost to our effectiveness in the meantime. Thank you for watching till the end, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
And now, another helpful tip from General Brash.
Eravin has done us a great service attempting to bring hope to the hopeless automatic fans. For this, I am ordering all active Helldivers to like, comment, and subscribe to his channel. Failure to do so will result in your assault rifles remaining weak after the coming buffs.
Brash tactics! Use them or die trying!